Hey,
Yo, 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 it's Godswill in the building. And I got one of my special friends, Caleb. He is blowing up on the internet right now, like
oh,
with all the collection content you do, the questions you do. I see you like really making a cool niche for yourself on the internet, and it's really cool to see you rise. Uh, yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll just jump right into it.
dude, well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me. Caleb, I go with CalebxSwag, just kind of a silly name. I don't know, honestly, why I picked swag. I think just thought it sounded funny, but yeah, man, just jumped on. I've been on the internet for quite a long time, but I took it a little more serious the last, 3 or 4 years, and here we are today. Met you at a convention, and dude, the rest is history. It's been
Bro,
a great
it's
little bit of
been
time here.
great time, honestly. Like, I mean, like every time we hang out, bam, popping. Yeah, we met, I think, like at New York Comic Con, and was it?
Must have been last
Yeah,
year,
yeah, I think so. Wow,
one
only
year
one
ago.
year, not even a full year yet.
Feels
That's
like I've known you
crazy.
for a while. Yeah,
It
it's
feels
crazy,
like, yeah,
man.
we've been like hanging out for a minute, honestly. I remember like we played Smash like at the con. You beat me, and then I vowed revenge, and haven't yet got it
Got it
because
yet.
we just been busy, I guess.
I'm also afraid because I'm hanging on the win right now, so I
Oh
kind of I
no.
want to hold on the win.
To be fair, I feel like I like, especially ever since Toasty talked some shit. Like I was like, I don't know if I can do it. It shook my confidence. Did you guys play during this last time?
Yeah, I won't say too much. I smoked her pretty good, and then
Okay,
I
hey,
and then I smoked her boyfriend too. So
there we go. Okay, cool, cool. Because
the
she was
sleeper
talking.
player, dude, the
Yeah.
sleeper player is Juju.
Oh, I low key can see that though. I can see that, honestly. Anyone that is a One Piece fan, yeah, got a little something. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. But wait, how were you against him?
He's okay. He plays Samus, so I don't really have good matchups against Samus.
Gotcha. Who who
Yeah.
who who do you main?
I main Donkey Kong number one and then Ganondorf number two.
Okay. Oh, the
So pretty
heavies.
much, yeah, the
The
heavies.
heavies.
But basically,
Okay.
Samus just wipes them big time. So I got to get crafty next time. I think I can beat him. I think we're pretty even, but he's pretty
Okay.
good. He's
We
pretty
gotta
good.
run it back. We gotta run it this
We have to. We have to. New
yeah.
York
I'm gonna
Comic
bring my
Con, it
Switch.
is Switch. I'll bring controllers. You know what? We'll find a TV. If we just have to steal one of the hotel TVs, we'll just do that.
Seriously, I'm down, bro. Like we've been talking about it for so long, and like we've just been busy every time we go to conventions. But also, it's a good thing, It's like we are usually there to work, right, at these conventions and like make some things happen. And like, yeah, seeing your content as of like the whole time. Actually, I thought you've been doing it for like a long time. Like, I'm glad you answered like how long you've been doing it because you definitely seem very seasoned in what you do, and then also
Oh,
like
thank
as an
you.
interviewer like as you go down into like the details of like the content or like the items that you pick up, like it's been really cool. How long you been doing that for? Like have you been interviewing like the whole time, or like did you really just get into it like all just like 3 years ago?
Honestly, last February I went to Fan Expo Vancouver,
Okay.
and I took some buddies out with me, and we just kind of checked it out. And then I literally did my first interview content at that. So little bit over like a year and a half, whatever. February plus plus however February to now. So like a year and a half was when I did my very first interview piece of content.
Wow,
Yeah, and
dang.
it worked out. Like it was super fun. I've developed some like new tips and tricks, and definitely developed a couple rules when it comes to interviewing that I've
Uh-huh.
tried to stick by. But yeah, dude, that was the first one. I
Like
stuck with it ever since.
what's a rule that you stick by?
I think my biggest rule right now is just the type of person I interview. I think honestly, one of my biggest fears is to interview like a cosplayer or an attendee, and then have someone just crap on them in the comments. Like,
Mm.
dude, I can you imagine going to a con like with your best friends or like your group of friends, and then some dweeb like me walks up to you with a camera, interviews you, and then people are all of a sudden just crapping on you in the comments. That's gotta just not be. That's not cool. So I try
No.
to interview guys like who I either think can take it, who I think are can talk well, or just people who like look awesome in cosplay. And I try to just make sure I word it to where the things like maybe something I'm saying will get hate, but I try to keep them on a clean slate.
I think that's dope. I like that mentality a lot. Like, I'm a community manager for Viz, and unfortunately, I see that a lot. Like, where people will be like, "Oh my god, this person is black. Oh my god, this person doesn't look the way they're supposed to look for a cosplay." I hate that. Like, for me, it also really worries me. Like a lot of anime fans doing this, but it's like, are you guys watching the same anime that I'm watching? How can you guys be bullies when most of the time they're about anti-bullying in anime. And I'm like, especially like for One Piece, it's just like,
Dude,
wait. How are you a One Piece fan and you are a bully on the internet,
bro,
if
I
anywhere?
I don't understand how people bring up specific references, like in anime, like this dude's using all body hockey. I'm like, dude, that's very specific, and like you have to be a fan of One Piece to even know that. So it's like, how
uh,
could you even comment that? It's crazy.
straight up, and it's like I see that. I mean, of course, I see that quite a bit, but at the same time, I'm glad that we have guys like you because, like, I feel like it's taking the like it's fun, like it's simple, but it's also like nicely done, like where it's like cool, everyone can like really enjoy this content. It's like it doesn't feel like, oh, you have to be like a super anime fan. In fact, actually, I like a lot of questions of like, like what's your favorites, like especially like the One Piece questions. I'm super happy that you're a One Piece fan now. Like, have you been like how long have you been a One Piece fan for, by
Dude,
the way?
honestly, I've been watching it since the Four Kids dub, like
My man.
fan from the beginning. I liked it for so long, and then I probably stopped for I don't even know like 15 years, and then college rolled around, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna rewatch it. And then I was like,
Wow.
it's just as good as I remember. Yeah, so I was a
Wow.
fan for a very long time, and then I just took that break. I don't know what happened with that break, but I took it.
That's dope though, actually. Because the funny thing is that's the same for me. Like I started with Four Kids, like back on Saturday morning cartoons,
Frick yeah,
and
dude.
then yeah, like it was a Fox box, I remember, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then college, like I was joining fraternity, and then my grand big, like he was like, you got to watch One Piece, and I was like, I thought I finished it. I thought I already saw all of it, and I was definitely didn't finish it, and took me a long time. I was really resistant for a long time. Were you resistant, or like did you fall back in love with it?
Honestly, I loved it the whole time. I was even collecting like some One Piece things, like even when I wasn't watching it. Like I remember buying like a One Piece Jolly Roger flag, and there was characters on there that I didn't even know yet. But I was like still enjoying like the One Piece. Just I don't even know what about it, but I was like buying things still, wasn't watching it, and then yeah, dude, I took a lot of breaks during it though. Like some of it, man, I don't know. I would like finish an arc and I'd take like a year break, dude.
Honestly, I think that's the way to do it. Like I low key tell people now, although at the same time it's like, I want you to catch up now, right? But enjoy
Yeah,
the ride. Go on your own pace. Like don't feel like you have to catch up like immediately.
yeah.
But I think that you did that the right way, honestly. Do you have a favorite arc also?
Dude, you know what, man? I thought Wano was pretty darn good, and I feel like Egghead pretty darn good, and I just think they're getting better and better. I feel like the arc I liked before that was probably like Dressrosa, and then I
Yeah,
don't know, Water Seven's
yeah.
always good, dude. They're all so good.
I wholeheartedly agree. Like I think Oda is cooking. And I'm so excited for what's coming next.
The dude, like, take as many breaks as you need. If you need to
Straight,
go to bi-weekly, do it. Like,
straight
dude,
up.
do not
I,
die from like whatever
I
mangaka are
think that
dying
all
from
the
these
time,
days.
bro. It's so sad to hear
Savage,
like
man.
someone like stop like right as like they're about to finish, and like or
Yeah.
like be cut short. So definitely Oda do whatever he has to take. Like it's crazy how few breaks he's taken over the years, though. Huh?
Dude, I feel like the guy just he's a machine, number one. But yeah, I feel like if his health needs to make him take a break, dude, take a break. I'm so sad that like the pressure of all this media is forcing these guys to work to death. It's so savage.
Straight up. Like I don't get that. Like also, at least I want to
Yo,
get paid more. If anything, get paid with like this the right amount of work. Like they're putting in so much work weekly and
yeah.
making masterpieces. Like I manga blown me away. And anime, I don't know how Japan like keeps up that culture, but Loki. I want them to take a break. I want them to chill out a smidge. Maybe
Yeah.
smoke some weed. Maybe we I'm surprised they do things sober or just like buzz. I don't know how that goes down.
Man, I have no idea. Like it's been going one episode, one chapter a week for the last like 30 years with maybe a couple weeks off. But like, dude, if you gotta go bi-week, if you gotta go once every 2 weeks, do it. Like
Eh,
animators too, man.
yeah, straight
They're
up.
going
Like I
crazy.
please take the breaks, but I'm glad to hear that. That's really sick. And then you said you even got your mom recently into One Piece too, right?
Yo, my mom. So My brother and I decided to take her to New York Comic Con last year. And this was the
Okay.
first con she's ever been to. And before that,
Wow.
we had watched the live action One Piece.
Okay.
And so she watched it. She's like, that was pretty good, you know? And then my brother and her and I are sitting down at the airport, and I glance over, and she's like, she is far in the anime. And I'm like, Mom, are you watching the anime? She's like, yeah, I started the anime just kind of like started after the live action, you know, like it was recommended and it
Ah.
started. But
Uh-huh.
she was far. Like she was on like episode probably like 500 or 600 already. But and then I logged into my Crunchyroll, and I'm glad they started doing like separate
Yeah, different
profiles
profiles. Yeah.
because she's been caught up like every episode. Like she watched the new episode every week.
That's so sick.
Crazy, dude. It's
That's so
crazy.
cool. Has your mom always been cool like that, or like is it like more recent thing?
You know, honestly, like if it wasn't for my mom, I probably wouldn't be into any of this stuff because she was a stay-at-home mom. I was very, very fortunate, my brother and I, to have a stay-at-home mom, and you know, we would watch Saturday morning cartoons. We would watch morning cartoons with her. We'd wake up at 7 a.m., eat breakfast, and watch cartoons. Like we watched X-Men
Wow.
together. We watched Spider-Man together. We watched Batman the animated series together. And then like yeah, we kind of took that break from anime. So I feel like if we had kept up or watched anime in college, or if my mom was in college with us, she probably would have watched anime that whole time. So I'm still like, it's still the best thing ever.
That's sick. I like that a lot. Like because I was even thinking, I was like, oh, do you have like a technique to get your parents into getting into anime or like nerd culture as a whole? But sounds like she was already there. And in fact,
She's a
actually,
nerd, man.
progenitor. I like that.
It's the
That's so
best.
cool. And then also like how has it been taking your mom to cons? Like that sounds like such a wild thing. I guess like I figure like it'd be like so overstimulating. But then again, it sounds like she was ready for it, right?
You know, like I don't know where it came from, but I was just like, once I started getting involved in conventions, I was like, dude, I have my number one thing. I was like, I have to make it work to where I can bring my mom to one of these. And we brought her to New York Comic Con, and it worked out because we had exhibitor badges, so we could like go in early, and she could like experience the photo. That's the hack. I don't know if I should tell anyone that that's actually the hack, but exhibitor badges are the hack. If you can get in early, or if you can like work with a brand or company, go in early, take some photo ops, like just show her the floor, and then once the people come in, if she has to leave and take a break, she totally can. And that was
Smart.
kind of like I had to set that up, but it was totally worth it. And she loved it, man. She loves like the exclusive stuff. And I feel like we're Filipino, and our favorite thing is like free stuff. Like
I mean,
free
hey,
free stuff is the
right?
best thing ever. Like you can give something to my mom, and if you paid for it, that's cool. But if you were like, "Yo, this was free stuff," loves free stuff. So once like she could get like dude, she's got the craziest tote bag collection. I'll catch her in Walmart, and she's got like the Bandai Gundam bag, and that's what she's loading her stuff in from Walmart. I'm like, dude, you're the
That's
best.
so cool. Oh my gosh. I love that. Like, I mean, I loved your like the fact that you even bring your family like in this. Like it feels like a whole family engagement, a whole like it's so cool. Like how like so was it hard to also bring like the rest of your family into this? Or I guess it's just always been like the whole family thing, like everyone like getting involved, right?
My dad is probably the only one not involved in like any kind of nerd culture. He's just not really into it. He does not. He likes based on a true story type stuff. But
Oh.
my little brother,
Hey,
dude, we've been watching anime for forever,
that's sick. That's really
based on a
cool.
true story.
This One Piece, I mean, I heard it was, similarly based on a, true story of real pirates.
He
I
was
don't
out there.
know.
Yeah, he used to roam the world,
Yeah, right. Exactly.
something like that.
That's cool though. It
Yeah.
sounds like everyone like understands each other very well in your family. Like, I guess, like, would you say you guys have been always tight like that?
Yeah, we've been super tight. I would say at least my brother, my mom, and myself, we've been just kind of like super tight. We would go to premiere every Thursday night. We would always go to every Marvel premiere, every movie premiere. We watched like Lord of the
Wow,
Rings,
Thursday
Harry
night too.
Potter. Yeah, yeah, dude. Yeah, because you can go to Thursday night at midnight. So
Yeah.
we'd always go Thursday night, midnight, bring my mom to the midnight premieres. It was, dude, goated times for sure.
Do you guys have a favorite? Do you have a favorite premiere that you did with your family?
Oh, dude, I feel like back when the MCU was just on one, like
Ugh,
for the Infinity
tight.
Saga,
Yep.
every time it just hit every time. And the funniest part is my mom still asks, like, is there stuff after the credits? I'm like, dude, we've been doing this for like 15 years. Of course there's stuff after the
Yeah, yeah.
credits.
I honestly, so when people leave, like even after this Deadpool one, I was just like, "What are y'all doing? Have you guys not learned by now? Still? Did you see Deadpool,
Well,
by the way?
Yeah, I
Deadpool and
loved
Wolverine.
it.
Yeah,
What'd you think of it?
I loved it too. Although I think I like 1 and 2 more still. But
Ooh,
yeah, but I got I feel like I got to rewatch it all. Like um because I had a great time this time, but I usually remember like cracking up, like just belly laughing with 1 and 2. So I
dude.
got dumb humor, and I think this one did a great job. But yeah, I guess like it was sort of like light on the story in a sense.
Yeah, I wonder if like Disney had. I don't know. I feel like Disney took a massive risk with this one, and good thing they did because I
Yeah,
think, dude, big risk takers on that, and good job for having Ryan have so much of a hand on it. And honestly, I might just be biased because Hugh Jackman's like one of my favorite
I mean he's
just
cool.
players ever. Oh,
I
absolutely
mean
killed it.
when that final scene happened and the shirt came off, I was like, I get it. Hey, do your thing, man. You worked
No,
for
that is
hard.
one jacked 60-year-old though, man.
Right? I was like, how do I get like that? But also, I'm like, okay, this is his job. This is what he does full time, and steroids aren't illegal. But also, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do all that. Yeah, this is what he has to do. This is his journey. But I really did enjoy this movie though. Like I'm glad that they're taking these risks because they need to. Like, how do you feel about the state of Disney, the MCU? Yeah, yeah. Like overall, like I feel you're the perfect guy to ask that. Like, how do you feel about like how things are going with Disney, the MCU, yeah, that type of landscape.
Man, it's kind of interesting. I went to D23 and I did some, okay, just to rewind a little bit back to like hot take content. I feel like I'm on the verge of being done with hot take content because I did a hot take with Michael, Black Gay Comic Geek,
Oh
and
yeah.
dude, he had a pretty intense MCU hot take, which I thought was really good, but
Ooh.
the internet took it like really poorly.
Uh
They came out with some pretty foul stuff, so I ended up
oh.
like muting the comments and being like, dude, I will delete this video. Like, I'm so sorry. So
That's good.
that was that dude. That made me so just mad inside. But anyways, I interviewed another guy and asked him what his hot take was, and basically he just said like, I'm done with the multiverse stuff, and I am too, dude. I'm just like, can we just take it back to friendly neighborhood action? And dude, I feel like the big risks are good. It's cool that they did that, but I think I don't know what could
I
save the
feel that.
MCU at this
I
point.
feel that. Yeah. Although I think low key, I sort of like the multiverse stuff still a little bit. Funny enough, like ever since
Hmm.
everything everywhere all at once, like that just
Dude,
sort of
yeah.
opened my mind to like it's like oh, the like I think about like this poem, the fig tree by Sylvia Plath,
Hmm.
like where it's like it's this woman who's sitting at the bottom of the fig tree, and like the figs represent like all the things that she can do in her life, and like the figs are falling. Like she could have been a teacher, she could have been an explorer, she could have been a stay-at-home mom, she could have done like all these things, but then she's just looking at what she can do, and she doesn't do anything until like the figs fall. um and and then like I read that like as like all this multiverse stuff started happening, and at least it gave me like a lot of perspective. But yeah, maybe we are done with it. Like I feel like we have been doing it to death already, or honestly, and low key, I want to like go a little further into it, but that's just me. Like I that's
Yeah.
my hot take, honestly.
I feel like a little while ago it was time travel. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just like everyone was doing time travel stuff, and it's like time
Yes.
travel works this way or it doesn't work that way. Like these are the only movies that do time travel well. Now it's like everyone's doing the multiverses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro,
Maybe we
come
need
on.
another science fiction thing to focus on, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. What would you add to the MCU to make it better? Like what's one piece that you would just like give to the MCU?
One Piece, not kidding. I,
What's one piece?
I, for me is like I wish they would go to some of the comic book stories. It's like we haven't done Secret Wars, we haven't done, or I guess they did that. Like I haven't seen like a lot of the TV shows after like Loki season 1. I think like I used to be like on it, on it, on it, and then like I have burnt out. Also, I think they just need to slow down. Like I think
Chill the frick out.
everything. Yes, like I get it. You have to promote your TV streaming channel. You have to, get people in the theaters. But also, I think people are burnt out. People need like the yearly banger, maybe, or like honestly, like it doesn't have to be yearly. Honestly, maybe every other year. Just sort of slow down,
Yeah.
focus with like what they're making versus like what's coming next. It feels like they're so future focused versus like we're gonna make something dope right now that's gonna be timeless. Like
Just chill the frick out, you guys.
mm-hmm.
Even with Star Wars, dude, they're like beating me up
Too
with.
much.
I can't even keep up, dude. It's like,
Straight
yo,
up. Straight up.
who
I've
you
been
guys
saying
appealing to? The
I've
super
been
fans is
wanting.
like, yo,
I don't know how people do it. Like, I need to watch Clone Wars. I need to watch Rebels, and I haven't seen Ahsoka. I
same.
haven't seen Boba Fett. Although I heard that it was okay, mid.
I liked
Um,
it.
I haven't seen Mandalorian season 3. Is there a season 3?
You know what, dude? I don't even know at this point.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Like I've been complaining to the void of like I need just a season of no new content. I need to catch up. I am overwhelmed with just the amount of anime, movies. I haven't seen a lot of old movies. Someone's like, you have to watch Ghost. I'm like, with Patrick Swayze. I'm like, one of these days, I gotta watch Bear season 3. I gotta finish Atlanta season 4. I gotta watch House of Dragons. I haven't even started that at all. So I feel
Not happening.
overwhelmed. And then I want to play my games. I want to go outside. Actually, I don't want to go outside. I don't like going outside that much.
Dude, you're an outside guy. I see you swimming all the time.
I'm trying. I'm forcing myself. I feel like I have to force myself to go outside. Do you go outside a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I live in Montana, so we have Montana claims itself as having easy access to the outside, so we go outside quite a bit.
Are you from Montana?
Yeah, born and raised.
That's crazy. And how is that? Like that just sounds like such a it feels like Montana is just like a travel place or is like only cowboys who have always lived there. I don't know. Like I have no idea actually like what Montana's like. And also it just
Yeah,
sounds cold.
dude, that is probably the worst part is like our winters are freaking horrible. But it's been chill. Like I guess I was born and raised here, grew up here. My wife was born and raised here as well. So we kind of trapped ourselves because we had kids, and then both of their grandparents, like my parents and her parents, are also here. So it's like, oh shoot, we are officially stuck at least for a couple more years. But no,
Okay.
it's nice. It's nice, man. I mean, you know what? You'll just have to come visit. Like I'll just come out one of these
I'm gonna
times.
take you up on it for real,
All
because
right,
I
deal.
also just sounds like I mean I guess I would wake up on time. I would go to sleep on time. I would wake up and see like the sunrise. That's just what like comes in my head, and I have no
Yeah.
idea like how accurate or whatever I'm supposed to be visualizing for Montana. But this seems like Old West, and I see a horse coming out. I don't know. Do you have a horse?
I do not, but if you come out and if you want to ride a horse, you can. If you want to go on a boat, you can. If you want to shoot a gun, you can. If you want to shoot an animal, you can. If you want to catch a fish, you could do all of that. All of those stereotypical things you could definitely do.
Okay. I'm gonna take you up on that for real, because that
Deal.
just all sounds wild. Maybe the way that like I should have lived in Texas, but I'm
Oh
a city
yeah.
slicker in Texas.
Are you? You're in Austin, right?
No, I was in Dallas.
Dallas, that's right.
Yeah, Dallas I think is like the more bougie side. I mean, if you're in a city, it's pretty bougie, nonetheless. And then like when you go outside of cities, that's where it's like the real Texas. The
Yeah.
horses and all that.
Do you like the heat more or the cold more? Because I
Heat.
feel like it's the absolute opposite. It's got to be.
Yeah, no, I love the heat more than the cold. I hate the cold. I'm too African, honestly. It's just every time, like I feel like I'm about to die every season. I'm just like I'm not gonna make it this season.
Oh, dude. Dude, the
I,
college we have here, I feel
mhm,
so bad because it's a petroleum, it's a tech college, so we have like a lot of petroleum degrees and stuff. So like the
mm,
get rich degrees or whatever. But we have a
yeah.
lot of Africans that come there, and I feel so bad because they'll show up like for orientation. I'm like, dude, do you own a coat? They're like, heck no. I'm like, you gotta go. You gotta get some ASAP. You're gonna die in about 2 months. Like you will literally
uh,
physically die. So you
yeah,
have
yeah,
to.
straight up. That's something I always think myself too. I was like, am I gonna physically die when I'm out there? It's like,
You
especially like
might.
winter time. Mm-mm, mm-mm,
It's pretty
mm.
unforgiving, man. Like you could. It's pretty scary.
That's why I'm happy to be in California right now. I'm like, it's always perfect out here. Although where I'm at in Orange County, I just wish that like everyone like says they hate driving. I'm just like, y'all, I'm 40 minutes from y'all. Just come on through. But everyone's lazy out here, and I've gotten a little softer. Like anytime I go to a place with weather that's outside of 60 degrees, it's like, oh, too cold now. I'm shivering.
Oh,
Oof.
boo. One trip to Montana, it'll change your whole mind.
I
So,
get tough. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I'm not a city slicker like the rest of y'all out here.
Dude, 50 degrees pops out. That's shorts and t-shirt weather, man. Straight up.
I don't know about that.
We'll find out.
That's crazy. I did want to ask, how long you been a collector for? Like, it sounds like you've been collecting maybe since college, but like how is it also collecting? Like, do you have like the space to do it? Like, what got you into it? Um, and like what got you like deeper into it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've always been like really hard into collecting. Like even when I was a kid, I was involved with Pokemon cards, Digimon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My mom would buy like we would always go to the store and she'd buy like Batman Beyond figures. My mom collected the Lord of the Rings line of toys, which is absolutely insane. So like that came out, 25 years ago. So I've
You guys still
always
have
been
that?
like around, dude. I've got a Legolas one right here.
Oh my God. I
I
knew
stole
you
this
were
from her
cool.
collection.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been
That's so
collecting for a
sick.
long time. And then college came around and I took collecting a little bit more serious. Like I took it more of like a collect what I want, but also collect some things as an investment. So
Mm.
been collecting a long time, man. Yeah.
Oh
What about you?
my.
I feel like you collect a lot of stuff.
I got a lot of pieces, like scattered pieces throughout life, but I wouldn't say I'm a collector. Like I would like to be a collector. Um Yeah, like but I feel like I just don't have space. I don't have money. Uh and then also it's like I would even like to get to like the serious collecting side of things, but I don't know if I have like the chops in a way, It's like to be like, oh, this costs this much, this is where you resell it, this is where you get these things. Although people like also even seeing your stuff, it makes me want to get into it. I'm just like,
Dude.
ooh, that does look cool. Ooh, especially the One Piece trading card game. Everyone just been talking to me. You've been talking to me about it. Other people have been talking to me about it. Like I have a homeboy from Crunchyroll who has been doing his damnedest to get me into it. And
Just
I
do it.
uh uh there's too
Dude,
many
open up.
I
Open something.
oh, uh, it just seems like so much money. And then what else? Like I I should. I think that's the danger I knew of talking to you. I was like,
The barrier of entry to collecting is so easy. Like, I think
yeah.
you can get into collecting so easily, and the collecting community is so niche and totally separate. I feel like you would enjoy the collecting community a little bit. And you met
Mm.
my friends Shivam and Andy this weekend. They're like the really high end collectors. Like, they know way more about the high end. We know people who instead of owning a home, instead of owning a $300,000 house, they have a safe with like $500,000 of Pokemon cards in the safe. They're like, dude, this is a better investment than owning a home. Like, which is like, yo, that's crazy. But
I was like, is it? But at the same time, I guess so. Like that's wild. Well, that's cool
the
though.
$5 cards, you can all the way up to like $5 million. Like, there's just like a huge gap. You don't necessarily have to. You just collect what you want, man. Yeah, I feel like you'd find a niche and collect what you want. And just by looking at your bedroom, you got you. It looks like you at least buy what you want. Yeah.
Yes. And also I would say like I've been blessed throughout life, like a lot of these things are just things I've gotten as gifts or as, special freebies. I mean, honestly, I'm a big freebie guy myself. Like that Pokemon poster, like I got
I
it
see
like
that.
yeah, like I got that like when they did the first movie showing in theaters, and it just has always been like I'm gonna keep it. It's messy. I even wrote on it as a kid because I was like, I should remember the date, so I wrote on it with pen. Um,
You got
but
that collector mentality, though. If you've had that since the first movie, I think you got that collector mentality.
you're selling me to this, and I knew this was a danger of talking to you. I was like, I might be addicted to doing this. Uh-oh. I just
All
feel like I
right,
also don't have any money right now,
I feel that. Well, I will bring some cards to New York Comic Con,
Uh-oh.
and you can open them and you can have them, and like maybe that will start it. If you pull something nice, that's like maybe you'll just kind of open your mind a little bit. We'll flip the switch.
Oh no. Okay, this sounds fantastic and I'm scared. I'm like, do I need another addictive thing? It's like I feel like I'm like, oh, let me finish. I've been saying I want to finish Final Fantasy Rebirth before I start anything. Like I'm already like my thing is like I love platinuming video games, like I am a trophy whore. I
Oh
did
my god,
Yeah, I did Hades, I did, and especially hard ones too. Bloodborne, Sekiro. Yeah, these are like the more recent ones I just did. Now I'm doing
that's
Final
crazy.
Fantasy because I want to get like a Final Fantasy tattoo soon. Also, I just told my mom like I've got tattoos finally. Yeah, for the first time. I know, like
What?
I know.
She didn't know up until
No,
recently.
straight up, like until I got this one, where I was like, I can't really hide this one as much, but like I had them like all
No.
on my chest more so, so
I didn't know you had
I
the sun tattoo.
Yes,
The
sir. Yep.
what?
That's my favorite one.
That's hard,
Yeah. Thank you. How long you been getting tattoos for?
dude. I got my first one. I was like 17, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Wow.
got it in like a kitchen. There was just a machine sitting there. I was like, dude, someone just throw something on me right now. I'm ready, and they did. And
Wow.
yeah, I probably had like 15 tattoos before my parents found out too. Like my thighs are blasted because like I just kept everything hidden for so long.
Yeah. Okay. So we're sort of the same mentality, right?
Same wavelength. My mom was disappointed AF. So
But it worked out, right?
what's she gonna do? Like disown me? I don't think so. I've got her grandkids, so we're good.
Hey. So that should have been the step right there, right?
Yeah,
I
like
got
I'm gonna have your grandkids someday. So like you gotta
Gotta
forgive
be
me.
nice, right? You want
Yeah,
to see them?
exactly. That's what you should tell your mom. Like I'll have grandkids someday. I promise.
Although I gotta do step one first. Like if I was better in in the dating department, then I could have been like, "Hey, you want this?" But now I feel like she's gonna threaten me with a arranged marriage in a bit.
Ooh, shoot,
it's
that's some
it's
scary territory. But who
you
knows, man?
know
Arranged marriages. I feel like a lot of them work out actually.
that's what I've been hearing and seeing honestly, and I'm like, the way dating, don't come back out here. Like, although I know, I like. First of all, I'm happy for you and your family. I hope you
Thanks,
guys, like,
man.
yeah, keep going with that. Right? Anyone that is thinking about coming back out here, don't do it. Especially right now, it's horrible. But you're cool. Every time I see you, I'm just like, this man has charisma on point.
Oh, dude, thank you so much. Dude, I appreciate that, man. It's like, no, that's so nice to hear. I feel
Yeah,
like,
no, I see it. Like I'm just like this guy's the coolest guy out here, And
oh
that's even
shoot,
like why it's easy to like to bring you out like with like our company and stuff, Like with Viz, it's just easy seeing you like talk to people. In fact, actually like you started like how we're starting to like try to interact with influencers more. Just like, okay, just do how you do it, Like you know what you're doing. And now I'm like, what a concept, rather than us having to script for you guys.
dude. Well, thank you so much, man. I feel like it's always, dude. I feel like Viz was always that brand or company or whatever that was just like completely unreachable. I'm like,
Really?
dude, and yeah, and then. I don't know, man. When that text came through, I literally couldn't even believe it. I was like, dude, this guy is giving me imposter syndrome level 100. I don't know what's going on. Like, is this even
Wow.
real? And
No
then
way. Because
it
honestly, I
happened,
really
and I
think
was
it.
like, whoa.
No, I honestly like, yeah, like I've been wanting to talk to you for a minute. You are like really that cool to me, not to glaze you too much, but at the same time,
Cut it
it's
out,
like,
dude.
it's like, I think, you really got it going on like that. Like where it's just like as soon as I even met you, like it was just like, I remember like you introduced us to the Crocs team, and then like you just, came away with like 2 boxes of Crocs, or I think multiple boxes, and just like, and I think this is when you're doing like the Naruto set. And
Other
he
ones.
just did that so smooth. And I was like, this guy knows exactly what he's doing. And then just like even like the hot takes or like just the questions you ask, it's done in like such a smooth way that it doesn't feel trendy in a way, but like a true like, how do you feel? I'm interested in what you think. And I like ever since I was like, I gotta talk to you. It's like this,
Dude.
just to even see like where you came from with all this, So it's just been too
Bro.
cool.
Shoot, man. Well, thank you so much. Like, I truly appreciate that. Who introed us? I got to glaze them a bit. Who was it?
Because it might have been Dimitri.
Was it Dimitri? I feel like it had to have been Dimitri.
Yeah, I think so. And then
Shout out Dimitri, man.
straight up, yeah, like his content. And then like I met him. How do I even meet him? Like I think I met him at the con too, or like a little bit before the con, and then like we were able to like start working with him. I just like working with people that I think are cool. It's like I want to get the community. Like this is what like I think that we should be working with. People who know how to talk with people, who have fun. Did you ever think that like nerd culture was going to be like this, like growing up?
Dude, I had no clue. It's always so weird because I feel like nerd culture, I was always hanging with my friends who are all like-minded, like I had a really solid friend group in high school, middle school. Like they're my friends today. Like we were always nerds. So it's kind of like if it didn't blow up, it was fine. If it did, like I got my homies, but I didn't expect for it to get this colossal of a size. Like dude, it's insane. But dude, I'm here for it. I feel like a lot of people, dude, it's ungatekeepable at this point. Like
Yeah,
it's mainstream. It's crazy.
I love it.
I'm just
Like
glad to have been here like from the beginning
from
though.
beginning, yeah, man, dude. I feel that heavy. Like I feel lucky. I feel like our generation got lucky with like the amount of culture that we got to enjoy, but then we get to keep enjoying it as adults. Like I was afraid that I have to give it up Like I thought I would have to be like, oh, I got to be an a real adult. I can't watch any more anime or, games will have to stop eventually. Did you ever have that feeling yourself that you would have to stop?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like through high school, I pretty much didn't watch any anime in high school, and whatever I did, like manga or anime I watched, was totally closeted. Like, I didn't really bring that up to anybody. I just kind of like did it at home or whatever, And then once college hit, I was like, dude, screw it. Like, I'm gonna start collecting again. I'm gonna start watching again, and through that, I was able to make like the friends I have today. I was able to turn that into content. I was able to like, do all this stuff. So I kind of wish that, I guess maybe it was a needed break. Who knows? So I don't
Yeah,
know, but
I'm
that's
about
just
to
kind of
say, is
how it
like, did
went.
you feel like you needed that break, or did you feel like sad during that break, or did you feel like this was like a needed break?
Honestly, the transition that happened was I was really involved with music in middle school and high school. So I
Mm.
was like really into I just switched underground things. I went from like an underground weeb to I'm in the underground like hardcore scene, which also developed like a whole lot of my personality as well. Like I'm straight edge because of that. Like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do any drugs or anything like that. And that was like a habit I developed through the hardcore like punk scene and the metal scene. And then I was in a band for a while. I did the whole Warp Tour thing. I did like all the underground shows. Like I was all about the music scene for a while, which turns out like kind of overlaps in a weird way. Like
Huh.
yeah, it's super strange, man. So
That's super cool, actually. I didn't know that. And also, yeah, I guess tell me more about like the hardcore scene. Like, what'd you play when you were in a band? And also, like, I do want to say, like, I always admire when people are straight edge. Especially like in this world. Like for me, I just go crazy. But I always admire when someone can go like have fun and still be cool, but also be disciplined in a way. But I guess like what inspired all that for you?
At first it was I grew up in a Christian household, and I think for the longest time I was just afraid to do anything, and I knew deep down like it wasn't right, which didn't stop a lot of other things. Like I was like I was also a wild child too, a little bit, but for some reason I think I was always afraid of like drugs and alcohol, and like, dude, I've seen some effects of it. I was
Uh, said that your recording stopped.
oh what
Let me just stop it and start again.
okay. The notification popped down and it was like stop recording. I was like,
Yeah,
what the
I
heck?
don't know.
But
Oh,
yeah, I went to a hardcore show one time and there was some straight edge kids there and they were like, yeah, dude, screw drugs, screw drinking, like that stuff's for losers. And I'm like, dude, I think I could just get on board with that. Like now I don't
wow.
have to be afraid of it. I could just get on board. Like that could be my excuse. That could be my reason to not doing it, is because like, oh, I'm in the hardcore scene. I'm straight edge. I could put a label on it. And then it developed into like, oh, maybe I could be some kind of like influence to people who are kind of like on the fence as well. Or like even then when I got to college, it was like there was people who would come to college and they would be like on the fence or they didn't want to go party. And it's like, dude, I'm down to go party, but we don't have to like go do drugs or drink or anything. And then I don't know, man. Now I just hope that transcends into like my kids, and I don't know, dude.
I like
At this
that.
point, I'm 30, and it's like I haven't done it yet. I feel like I could go the rest of my life without it,
I think
and
that's dope. I like that a lot. Like, I don't think I'll be straight edge anytime soon personally. I
that's
personally
fine.
like what I do, but I also admire like when people do it, It's just like I see this world is people go too hard, people like value like or like really push people to drink and to smoke and to da 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 join us it's like, but it's not really even like more like I'm enjoying it type of way. It's like I need other people to do it to join me. And I have seen like how it wrecks a lot of people, and I think it's really admirable personally. Like I always like
Thank
really
you.
admire when someone is down to abstain from all that. You actually listen to Dare Dog. Not all of us made him sad.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. At the beginning, like I do have some regrets because I feel like I used it as a kind of like a I'm better than you label, which
mm,
totally wasn't cool or wasn't fair either. And like
hmm
huge apology to anybody who I offended back in high school, but hopefully I was able to turn it into a positive thing. And anybody out there like struggling with stuff, like, dude, it's so sad, and I think it really affects people. But dude, we can always party without the substance if you're down.
Yeah, I like that. I guess like how do you like has it like I guess it hasn't stopped you, honestly. It's like, I mean, you're the life of the party whenever you come through, and then like I guess like do you have like any like tips for that, like, or like do you like is has it ever been really hard, I guess, like sort of saying like no, I'm not doing it, or do people like really try to push you, especially like once they find out in a way?
Dude, the only time where it's ever been kind of like an annoying thing was back when I worked in like the corporate world. I have a degree in occupational safety, so I was in like the like corporate world for like 10 years. And
Wow.
whenever the higher up meetings kind of started coming around, that was like a standard for when you go to dinner with like clients and stuff, is you have to like go out to the bar to have like your professional conversations. And I always loved it when it came around to me to order my drink, and I'm like, yo, I'll do a Roy Rogers or like a Shirley Temple or something, like a
Mm.
Coke with just like cherry sauce in it.
Uh-huh.
And
Sounds
I
like a
don't
real
know,
drink,
dude.
honestly.
Yeah, it does. But I feel like the clients were always like a little iffy about it. And I remember my boss telling me like, hey, this is kind of becoming a weird thing. Like maybe you should consider like, drinking and stuff at these events, or
Oh
like just to gain
wow.
the trust of the clients. And I was like, no, like no shot. And coming into this world, I feel like even just people like you, just to say like, hey man, good on you. Like that's just so much more encouraging. I think a lot more people are kind of like just more responsible nowadays, or,
Good.
they kind of respect that sort of thing. So it's never been an issue, honestly. It's just kind of like, I always had a point to prove, like, if I'm going to be sober, I can't be like the guy who's not fun and who's sober, because like I can't fit that stereotype. So I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna be the you won't guy. So if someone's like, yo, you won't jump off the balcony, like I'll do it. I don't care, dude. Or you won't get naked and jump in the pool. Like I will literally do it.
Yeah,
And I'll do it
wow.
sober. Yeah.
Damn, that's so hardcore. I like that, honestly.
Thanks, man. You know what? I'm glad you appreciate that.
Yeah, like for me is like I don't intend to do it for myself yet. Maybe I think it will have to be something I will do sooner, I guess, because I mean, I don't think I'm living like a hard life, like if anything, like I, try to make sure I'm drinking my tea. I try to,
Yeah.
balance it out, and not go crazy. Sometimes my roommates, we go a little hardcore because, I mean, just living with Koreans, is really part of culture, like I actually worry for them a little sometimes. Because yeah, like honestly, like daily, and it'll just be like, oh, I had to go drink with the coworkers, the bosses, yada yada, as part of culture.
Yeah. But you
Even
seem
like
to have like a solid, you seem pretty solid. Like you get your work done. I see you exercising. Like every time I see you at like an after party or at a con, it's not like you're some kind of nuisance or anything. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like I feel like you're very responsible, and like I never judge anyone for any of the decisions they make. So it's like, dude, as long as you're coherent and responsible, it's like, dude, whatever.
I think that's dope though. Like
Who
that's
cares?
that's a way to live. It's like I think more of people, especially these days, like especially on the internet, it feels like people are like too nosy and too judgmental and too like, oh, if you're not doing it this way, then you're doing it wrong. I guess that's humanity. Humanity's always been like that,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. I think a good question also for you is like, do you think that people are nicer or worse these days than before, especially like with just the internet? You see like a lot of content, like the comments online. Would you say like that's also indicative of like how people are overall?
That's tough. I feel like, I think a lot of the haters just have never been out and experienced like that human to human connection. Because, dude, even like 10 years ago, like jumping on Halo and stuff, like I can't say I was any better than these
About to say, I was
keyboard
like, were
warriors.
you?
Yeah, it's like, dude, I was crazy. I was crazy. Like, I think we'd all be in some trouble if any of those were saved.
They
Like,
recorded everything and is
yeah,
leaking.
dude. I dropped your mom jokes like a crazy, like a wild man. But I feel like if you go out and have some conversation, like people are always going to vibe with you. And I think the world's just a better place if you're just a nicer dude, or if you're like willing to just help another person or be nice to another person. I think like the benefits of that completely outweigh the benefits of being a hater. It's like, dude, it didn't help me to hate on people who like got drunk or smoked their money away or whatever. It's like, dude, you know what? This addiction's probably not any better, to be honest. So it's like,
I
I
think
don't know, dude.
I think it's better. Personally, one is destroying you. Don't get me wrong. As much as I love smoking and drinking, one is destroying you. One, hey, if any, hopefully appreciate some value at the very least, right?
Well, maybe you've met some really awesome like contacts through like partying or something. I don't know.
True.
It's just like I don't really have a place to judge another person. I definitely don't have a place to like tell people where they're spending their money poorly. It's like, dude, if I can, if you need a hand, like I'll be here. But until then, it's just kind of on you. I don't know.
I
But
dig
yeah, I
that.
feel like people overall are. I feel like people have gotten nicer, but also like more foul at the same time. Like maybe we've just gotten access to more negativity because it's just easier to access people, or like the comment section is just easy to be negative, but also it's easier to access people like you or people who work at companies or like people like bigger content creators or just like friends as a whole. It's like you go to a convention, like an anime convention, dude, everyone's so chill. Like I love the anime cons, man. And it's like, dude, none of those haters are going to come up to you and call you like,
It gets
hey,
to your face,
freaking,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Have you had a personal interaction like that went south like in person like that?
never, dude, never. And I don't know, maybe I'm like taller than people think I am in real life, or they don't want it. I don't
Yeah.
know what the deal is, but it's like, dude, I don't think anyone will ever come up like someone who's calling you something in the comments. I don't think they're ever gonna walk up to you at a show and say that to your face.
Yes. I'm glad to hear
So
that. And yeah, hopefully it stays like that. Knock on wood, things stay, kosher throughout. Have you
yeah,
had
have
like
you ever had a bad experience like that?
luckily no, I don't think so. At least nothing that like comes to mind. Like I'm
Good.
thinking like have I had like a racist experience in person or like a bad like even like work experience? Not luckily no. Like or the nothing personally. Like the worst experience to me was San Diego Comic-Con 2018, working the Funimation booth. Um and like people were rioting for Funko Pops.
Oh, yeah, you were saying that.
That like for me like that has always stuck with me like where and also like San Diego Comic-Con has gotten better throughout, but it has been like just so consumerist focused in a way like where it has worried me, especially like that moment like where people were just angry and just yelling and trying to like storm the booth for a bit, and like the fire marshal had to try to shut us down. I was just like, what is happening for Funko Pops? Like these things sort of look ugly. Like
Dude,
I think Funko Pops are cool, but at the same time I'm like, for Funko Pops really gonna do all this, y'all?
man, it's like that consumer mentality goes crazy.
I I like have you seen any of that yourself? Like people like
Oh,
go
for sure,
crazy.
dude. I mean, to be honest, I was always a fan of like the Black Fridays, like
Yeah.
people just like shoving their way through the store, like not
Yeah.
trampling. I don't want
Yeah,
anybody to get
yeah.
hurt,
Let's
but
not get violent, y'all, right?
I
Yeah, but
love that chaos, bro. And
yeah.
like honestly, a lot of my video games and a lot of the collectibles that started were like back in the day when you waited outside of a Target at 5 a.m. and you sat
Oh,
there
did you
until like the doors opened.
you did
Absolutely.
that?
Oh, 100%, dude.
Ah.
Midnight releases. I wanted to be there. I wanted like if they had 12, I wanted to be number one in line. Like, dude, I lived for those.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
honestly sad they don't do those
me
anymore.
too. I feel like now that I'm able to do it, they don't do it anymore. Like, oh, I remember like
Yeah.
seeing like just online like the PS2 launch or Halo. What has been your favorite one that you've done?
Honestly, me and my buddy sat outside of a Target for like 5 hours in the middle of winter. We were gonna get Legend of Zelda like 3DS, and they
Woo!
only had two, so I was number one, he was number two, and
Yo.
we were mapping out the Target because we had never been to this Target, so we were mapping it out. We were like looking up blueprints online. Like if the doors open and it's a mad sprint, like I hated to say it, but I was like, all right, dude, we're kind of athletic, so we got these guys.
Gotta
Like
do
we
what you
could for
gotta do.
sure beat them,
That's why you
but
train, right?
we have to run direct. It's got to be a direct shot to the electronics. Fortunately, the people came to the door and gave us tickets, like so it was
Okay.
chill. But
Okay,
yeah,
I like the That's so dope
like
though.
me
Ocean's 11 for that.
before. It's so fun, man. I love those days. But I
Man,
feel like anytime you put the safety of other people, like I understand why the cons have to do that kind of stuff.
yes, there's too many
But dude,
people.
I miss the chaos, bro. The chaos hit.
Yeah, I low key miss that sort of pre 2015 era in a way. Like it, like like don't get me wrong, I love where we are now. Like I'm glad that like we're like aware of each other a lot more. But there was like sort of like a wildness, I think, that was like 2000s up to like
Yeah,
2012. That I miss, and I'm not sure. I guess maybe it's just too much social media in a way.
yeah.
Like even like Twitter and like online being like sort of foul, it sort of feels like it was still like a happier time. I'm not sure if like we just didn't know better in a way, or we were all having more fun with it, or the social medias are designed better, like where now it feels like it's a little malicious how they're going about it.
Yeah, dude, it's always like a weird thing, man. I don't know. I always felt like you could always just find friends in the space, or you could always find like-minded people in the space, and you could always find like friendship or just like nice, cool people in the space. It's always like every space is gonna have people who like mess with you, and it's like, dude, if you can just have more of those people that drown out the negative people, dude, maybe it's just the better way to do things.
Yep. Yep. I love that all. Like, and I like that, like focusing on the positivity. Like, I think more people need to. It feels like people focus like on negativity a lot, but like I definitely see you as
Yeah,
a very positive guy, like at least I haven't heard you shit talk anybody, at least like not like seriously, like it's like even like bringing the positivity to the space. That's why like as like I really do like enjoy having you like in this world, and like I definitely am excited to see you like blow up, because I think we need more of what you're putting out there, honestly,
dude,
like
thank
for the
you. Oh,
scene.
bro, dude, thank you so much. I mean, I'm definitely not perfect. Like I've
For
talked some
sure, we're all
crap,
human.
and dude, my favorite thing is definitely like talking some unserious crap, and then you follow it up with like, oh, but he's like a cool guy or whatever. Dude, I'm the biggest victim. Like, oh, dude, God's will. He's like, he did this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and blah blah. And then you're just like, yeah, but he's chill. Like,
Hey, hey, if I can be chill.
backhanded, like double negative. I don't know, dude. It's always
But
so
like
funny.
it definitely is like all love, where I'm like, okay, like like I'm happy that I get to call you a friend, like in this space.
Thank you, man. Yeah, and likewise, dude. I don't know what other people got going on. I don't know what you got going on. It's like, bro, we're at an event together. You know what's crazy? Like, I've seen you 4 times this year, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, I have friends in my hometown that it's like, hey, let's get dinner together. Or like, we should get our family should go to dinner, bro. I've seen you more than I see them. Like, you know what I mean?
I
So it's
love
like you
that.
guys are, the convention goers, the people who like work in the space. It's like you guys are truly friends, and I learned so much from you. It's insane, dude. And you've opened up so many doors for me. It's literally like the craziest thing ever. I'm just like, how is this even possible?
I think about it all the time. Like I try not to take it for granted, like this world and this space that we're in, because it like I thought anime wouldn't make it. I didn't think nerd culture would be a thing, and I was supposed to be a doctor, and I don't know how I found myself in this world and how it's still going, but it's even going bigger than ever. So I'm just like, let's keep it going as far as we can.
Dude, yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. How long have you been with this?
Almost 5 years. I started December 2019.
Dang, when'd you give up the doctor dream?
10 years ago. Like I started with Funimation 20 April 2015.
Wow.
I was in a hospital then, and I actually, even before that, like I was thinking, like, I don't want to become a doctor immediately. Like I saw a lot of the people that were pre-med, and I just didn't like a lot of them, honestly. Like a lot of their behavior, I just was like, ugh, is this what doctors are gonna be? Like we
Mm,
gotta do this and this just become a doctor, and like it feels like you don't care about people, at least the people that are around me. Like it just didn't care about people. They did everything for the grade, everything just to show to potential schools
yeah.
that they are so good, like all the volunteering they did, all the work they did. I'm glad they did it, but it definitely always felt not positive to me, I guess. So I
Mm.
was like, let me try to live my life a little bit more before I sign myself to be a doctor. So I was like, let me do my master's, let me see if I can just work in the real world for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
I might go back to be a doctor. My parents weren't happy when I I joined the anime world. In fact, they were like, oh, this will be like a temporary thing, this will be, eventually go back to medical school. And I was like, no, no, hell no. Like this world is so cool, why would I go back? And they didn't stop until I think about like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, they were like, okay, I guess this is serious, but they don't really know what I do really. Like I would love, like, even in the beginning, like I was asking you about like how you got your mom and your family into it. I wish my family was into the nerd culture, or at least like more interested in like understanding what it is. But I do have to give my mom some props. Like she has tried. I've shown her some anime movies. I need to show her some more.
Mm.
For a long time, it's just all Pokemon. Like she doesn't really understand, the differences and nuances with it. But slow growth. Honestly, I'm thinking like maybe I need to show my mom live action One Piece and see if that might ring a bell for her.
Try it, dude. Try it. And honestly, hey, man, I think you're making a huge impact out here. So,
That means
Goswell's
a lot.
parents, he's killing it. He's killing it. You're
Hey,
doing so good out here. I feel like you've got just everyone just like adores you, man. I love that.
thanks, man.
It's the
That
best.
means a lot to hear that. It's like I try to be active or conscious about like, all right, I hope that I'm not for sure. Not everyone's gonna like me, and some people like me for or dislike me for dumb reasons. But I do try to put a good impact out there. It's like
Dude,
I want this scene to grow. Like nerd scene is I would say is my main scene. More than like Nigerian or black or I mean, I'm definitely not a sports guy.
same, same.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, do you do any sports yourself right now?
I don't know, dude. I play volleyball. Like, I
Oh,
play
that's cool.
pretty competitively, but I don't watch football. I don't watch basketball. Like, the only reason I know who Caitlin Clark is because of TikTok. Like, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Same. Like, I feel like I don't. I would like to. Well, actually, no, that's not true. I don't want to. I don't care about the real world in that way. Like I care. I want to be like aware of what's happening. Like, oh yeah, LeBron James did this and da da da. Maybe see the finals of like the big sporting events, but otherwise, yeah, I don't care. Like the nerd world has my heart, and like it has always been like what has like taken care of me, I guess. Like what has inspired me to try to be like honestly, like I take like this One Piece stuff and like anime stuff like very seriously. Like where it's like this is what has inspired me to try to live as fully, I think, as I'm trying to be.
Yeah. Did you feel like there was a disconnect growing up where it was like the sports culture and the nerd culture just didn't really connect? And I feel like that had an issue with, like, that was where my issue was like, dude, I don't really like the football players. I don't like the basketball players in my high school. So that just kind of transcended into me disliking sports.
Yeah, like
And
honestly, it's like that's a great question. Like I definitely felt the disconnect, but I think I was lucky. Like luckily at least no one like was mean to me about it. But like I just couldn't do sports. I used to have asthma like real heavy.
mm,
Big nerd. But I would say luckily like a lot of like the sports players were cool with me, or at least like cordial, nice, like I was a manager like on the basketball team. I was super nerd. I brought my PSP everywhere with me. I remember like dropping it
nice.
from the top of the basketball bleachers and it just cracked and I was like sad day.
No, no.
uh but
PSP's ruled though, dude.
super ruled, and like the fact that the hacking it, the internet on it, the games they had, the multimedia, um
Underrated.
oh, so like that system always has my heart. PlayStation overall, actually like is my favorite line. More than PC, more than Nintendo, more than any of
Whoa.
that. Like
Dang.
I wish I could. Yeah, I wish like I mean, I still love PlayStation 5 right now, but I sort of miss that old era. Like when they had like the whole,
Yeah.
they cared about the whole catalog in a way. Crash Bandicoot to Parappa the Rapper to God of War to whatever, all of it. But back to your question, it's like, yeah, at least I personally felt like the disconnect of like I wish sports were as cool as anime and like video
Yeah.
games, and like I couldn't get into it personally. My brother is big jock. Like if anything, like my brother and I were sort of like yin and yang in a way, and he was always like jock, sports world, cool guy, like of like the sort of like the people, the nerd, like the normal people in a way, I guess, right? Whereas I always felt like I had to go underground and that was my disconnect with it. Like whereas like I just didn't feel connected with it. So but like nerd world was like my solace, and then also like I
Yeah.
just found dancing through that or dancing, or no, the funny way is like I found dancing because like when I was going to 8th grade and 9th grade, I was in a camp and like white girl was like, hey, you should know how to dance better. And like and like I took that to heart. I was like, you shouldn't have
Oh
said that,
yeah.
but at the same time, you're right. I should know how to dance better. I should have like a black thing for real. I didn't rap. I didn't do sports. I was like, you know what? I think I can do dance. So
That was it.
that's my real origin story right there.
Dang. So yeah, I've seen you post like b-boy stuff and like some dancing stuff. So I like, dude, I
Yeah,
love
like
that.
I'm trying to my ankle. Like someone kicked my ankle back in March, like really hard. I was worried it was broken, but like it's been healing the whole time. So I'm about to get back into that. Like it's like almost all the way back now. So I'm gonna start posting again. I'm really want to get back into that scene, especially like the Olympics. Actually, really got me like really
Dude,
wanting to get back into breakdancing overall.
yo, I did it a tiny bit. Like there was a weird time.
Oh
So my roommates in college, they were so weird. Like one of them was like, I'm gonna learn how to walk up the stairs like on my hands by the end of the semester. One of my other
wow,
friends was like, I'm gonna learn how to do this, and I was like, dude, I'll learn how to do a windmill before the end of the semester. I couldn't do it. Like, dude, okay, it was way too hard. But I like developed some really like some pretty cool b-boy moves and like some stepping and some stuff, dude. But I haven't done
yeah,
it in
okay.
forever. But
I was
I
like,
only
let's see
did
if we
it
can
because
bring it
my
back,
roommates challenged me.
right? To
Maybe
be
we
fair,
should.
I mean, definitely, I'm gonna bring it back. But hey, if you're down to bring it back, but also, I don't blame you. Like, it's to me, that's why, like, when people were saying like it wasn't sports during the Olympics, I was like, what are you talking about? Like, we're seeing people do gymnastics, we're seeing people do, rhythmic dancing, with the ribbons, or like marksmanship or whatever. There's so many different sports that is like used to say that this particular thing is not a sport. That's wild. Like it's one of the most athletic things I think a person can do, and especially like on a musical beat, and you can't repeat what you do, and you have to chain them up so much, flying on your hands. I don't know how people do air flares and are flying. It's
Yo,
wild to me.
did you ever watch America's Best Dance Crew back in the day?
Bro, that's what got me going. Actually,
Go, dude,
Jabberwockies,
say it, dude. Oh
bro.
my gosh, absolutely goaded, bro.
And like there's so many groups that are on there. Like I still think like I think afterly about this one. There's this group that danced like Justin Bieber. It was a crump group, and like they danced to a Justin Bieber song. Like it was like season like 4 or something like that.
Okay,
And it
okay.
blew me away. I used to like hate on Justin Bieber like sort of actively, and then like that was like I stand corrected.
I
This is hard.
wait a second, yo, dude. I America's Best Dance Crew was, dude, one of the best shows ever. I knew the
Best shows ever.
Jabberwockies were fire from the start.
From the start. I remember they did PYT. They did like a whole Michael Jackson um episode, and like they did PYT, and I was like, you guys won this whole thing already. The second place group was great. I think crap. Not like unfortunately I don't remember their names,
Well,
but I remember.
they did some crazy breakdancing stuff, and they were like doing all the backflips like off the ladder and stuff or off the
Oh
stage. I was like, yo,
man, I
so
don't
where's
know
that
how
show? Bring that show
they need to
back.
bring that back for sure. I think of so much of like that 2000s 2010s era, like that was just so goaded, and I wish that they would bring that back, or at least just have the reruns. Like why are they showing ridiculous all the time? They need to bring that back, at least just show
Sh-
people like this is what we did back in the day.
Yo, I'm waiting for it to drop on Netflix or something because I would rewatch it in
That'd
a
be
heartbeat,
everything.
dude.
Now
What do you think was like the breakthrough for like just anime? Because America's Best Dance Crew definitely brought like more awareness to like street dancing. Like
yes,
who knows? Like if America's Best Dance Crew never came around, would breakdancing be in the Olympics? I don't
no,
know. Or like even Ink Master brought so much awareness to like
oh,
tattooing. Like where was the huge jump for anime, honestly? Like
ooh,
where did it make its way into the mainstream?
that's a great question. I
I
at
feel like
least
it just kind of happened.
like at
I
least
don't
I
know.
have a few things, a few different like blips on the timeline that I remember like really like going places, because like I started Funimation 2015, and
Well,
like
yeah,
anime,
you have
yeah,
the insider
a
stuff.
little
Let's
bit,
hear
a
it.
little bit. I remember like when I started 2015, that's when they started doing the simul dubs, like where before
Yeah.
you used to get the dubs like on DVD, but like a year later, right? And a lot of 2010s anime like was good, but didn't like really go as many places. Um, but then I remember like My Hero, like when that started, that's like what started like really like going places,
Mm.
where people like, oh, anime looks good. You remember like season like 1 and 2, like all my like people like loved My Hero Academia, and then
Yeah.
it started like blowing up, where kids were really enjoying it. But then
Mm.
I would say the pandemic, just the explosion of anime love, like Demon Slayer, but then you had Demon Slayer movie, with um Fire Guy, what's his
Mugen
name?
Train.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Mugen
Rengoku.
Train,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Like that was huge, like worldwide, where it got like billions of dollars. Right before that, Dragon Ball Z movies, Dragon Ball Super and Z movies like started coming out. So Resurrection F, those like started making waves. I remember like in the company they were like, oh, this will maybe make like $3 million, hopefully, and like they were just doing it for like one day at a time because anime movies were still like untested in theaters. But then that's when they like started like going hard. And it broke records immediately, like where from $4 million budget to $36 million budget, like in box office, like that started going places to Demon Slayer getting near billion. And then I really think Netflix like having a lot of shows like really helped. I do wish that they like helped promote their shows more, but people like having the access made it a lot easier. I think the quality of anime just also got like really good. Like where it was just easy to tell someone to go watch a show, like Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was easy to be like, oh, this looks cool. And then TikTok. I remember like waiting for TikTok to die. Yeah, I was like wanting TikTok to die like back in the day. I was like, this isn't gonna last. Yeah, okay, good. Like I'm not alone. I was like a big hater of TikTok.
I still kind of wanted to die, to be honest.
Thank you.
Low key. Like it could disappear tomorrow, and like I'd probably be okay with it.
Yeah, it's like I want the new thing. I want the new social media to come. I feel TikTok is a little bit too much for everybody. Or at least it's not. I don't think it's like a great thing. It sort of depersonalized creators. It sort of took off the intentionality of somebody watching something, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll wait and see.
That's a great question. All of that, everything you like, a
but
great question.
I feel like that's a great point. I feel like accessibility it had to be the thing because I feel like I don't know, dude. I don't think we gatekept like anime or manga or any of that stuff. Like it wasn't as accessible. Like I had to still go to like a Barnes and Noble to pick up a manga volume, but yeah, like I was buying DVDs at the time to watch, to even be able to watch anime. Like my little brother has probably one of the biggest DVD anime collections like out there. It's absolutely massive. And yeah, I feel like now that you can just go on Netflix and just watch it is totally the difference.
I love it. Like there's so many apps, there's so many streaming services. Unfortunately, there's a little bit too many. Like where it's sort of hard to tell someone, "Oh, go here, watch this." Like it definitely got flooded too much, and that bums me out. For example, like how you tell someone to watch JoJo's. Oh, you have to watch part 1 through 3 here, and then you watch part 4 and 5 here, and then you watch part 6 on Netflix, and it's just like, okay, so like it's also sort of hard to tell someone to go buy Crunchyroll when they haven't done any anime before, right?
Yeah. Do you think that's like where the biggest disconnect of like new anime watchers and like just being able to get back into the big 3 or the big 1, Dragon Ball? Like, do you think that's where it's like everyone's favorite anime right now is like Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man? Is that because there is that disconnect of like it's impossible to get people to just go watch those old ones?
Ooh, that's a great question. Because also it's like the new stuff just looks so cool and shiny and fancy. It's like it's sort of hard to tell someone to go watch an older thing. I think these days too.
True.
It's like
dude, you know what? Here's another question. Then, since you had to bring that up, do you actually believe that animation, like a fight scene, is animated better now than it was? Like, are you telling me that Naruto vs. Sasuke is less good or animated less good, or even some of those moments in like Evangelion where, dude, I always think about this. Remember that you've watched Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Yes, love it.
There's that
movies.
One scene. Okay, good.
Yeah,
where
I've
like
seen everything.
Evo 1 is like running, and then he's running up the mountainside.
Yeah.
And he does this one part where he steps on the highway, and it breaks the highway, and he still is running up. And dude, I was like, bro, the animation of this is just as clean. Like, just because the animation is like flashier, or they're even longer sequences, sure. I just don't think like they're animated any better, in my opinion. That might be an insanely hot take, but
that's a great take, honestly. Like, and honestly, like you're not wrong. Like, I think because like I was even thinking like in my head, like, oh, Jujutsu Kaisen did like some homage to like the Raid Redemption, and I thought that was super cool. I think the choreography is amazing. There are so many scenes. Like I was thinking, like Jujutsu Kaisen entertainment arc, right? Like, and just seeing like all the flashiness. But I have to agree with you, honestly. Like, there's like so much of the older anime, especially with the whole hand drawn style. I miss that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to say a lot of the older stuff is better, and but at the same time, I wouldn't say the new stuff is worse or bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I think a lot of new stuff. In fact, just even seeing like how like they're taking it further. Like I love seeing One Piece trending like on the Sakuga pages, like the current episodes. You know, seeing like when they did like Luffy versus Lucci, and you got to see like the first person view of Lucci as he's getting tossed around. Is like,
That
oh,
was
what's happening
crazy.
to
That was
me?
crazy.
And I'm just like, this is amazing. Like especially One Piece. One Piece didn't look good for a long time. I love One Piece. Everyone knows that. But One Piece didn't look good for a while. Like it was just like, this is cool. I'm loving it, but it wasn't great. But then now it's getting even better. Like I
I
feel
just
like
think
it was
like even like I don't know, Zoro versus King,
yeah.
like everyone craved about that. Obviously amazing. But dude, I feel like that's something that the look of it, it almost looks like they made it mimic like it could have came out 20 years ago. Or even like Garp, the newest scene with Garp, like there's no choreo with that. He just rolls up,
Pudge.
dude, but like I don't know, maybe anime is just composited differently
This is a
or
great
I don't
question
know.
though. Like that's
I
a
don't know
great
if it's animated better. Like
like I like that question a lot, and like I feel like I need to do some research into it. But I would have to say like yeah, a lot of the old stuff, there were so many details that they had. Like I just love how you brought up the Evangelion detail, like of like stepping on something and it breaks, and you see like all the crumbling. You know, like I see every now and then like the video of Akira of seeing like an animator like color in a window in a building, that's behind like as they're doing like the bike, scene. And it's just like, wow, the level of detail that they put into every cell was immaculate. And
insane.
not to say like the stuff they're doing now doesn't take so much work and love and all that, but back then it was even more so. But it's harder to see the old stuff too. Like, and that's something I wish
Yeah.
companies would do. Actually, I was even thinking about that for Viz. Is like, where it's like we need to talk about the old series that people love. Yu Hakusho, right? Like, or like old Hunter x Hunter, or
Yeah.
like there's so many old titles that people are asleep on, and titles that I want to watch. Pat Labor and Dirty Pair. What else is out there? There's so many things. Like I honestly, yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, like there's like a lot. I mean, I don't know the bad titles that came out in the old times, and
Yeah. I mean, I
I,
feel like it had to just be under the circumstance of how
yeah,
they were animated too. It's like, they didn't have they would save all their budget for that Naruto versus Sasuke fight. They would have to like
yeah,
put in filler for XYZ, and it's like they would have still images that would stay on the screen for like 30 seconds, and it's like, ooh, that's rough. And
yeah,
I feel like that doesn't help. They just move a lot quicker now because I think they have the resources to do that. But
yeah. Because
man, some of
also
those fights just they hold up,
so
man.
good. I do wish that like especially like a lot of those older shonen didn't do like the weekly, like we have to be on every week for whatever reason for broadcasting, right? Like I wish that they would just do their season, save their budget, and then make that dope stuff. One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, all that. I think they would have benefited heavily from just having breaks and making it a more tight product. But we remember like the amazing scenes. We remember the Sasuke versus Naruto fight. Although also I would like to say, do you like Shippuden more or OG Naruto more?
Yeah, I think I have a weird connection to the OG,
Yeah,
but
weird though.
Shippuden is it's so good
It
though, man.
is.
I mean, I just grew up on it, and Naruto is actually the first manga that I ever read. Like
Mm.
I bought a Shonen. Dude, I actually have a Shonen Jump Volume One, Issue One, Volume One, brand new still. But I
Wow.
got that at Walmart when I was a kid, and I was flipping through it, and I remember being like, "Dude, I have to get this Naruto. Like, I have to just see what happens." And my mom took me to Hastings. She got me volume 1 through 3, I think, of Naruto,
Wow.
and I was hooked, man. So I read Naruto before I watched it, actually.
That's cool. That's so cool.
So good. But I mean, I like Shippuden. Shippuden's good. Like,
Yeah,
it's like, you can't argue that it's not good.
true, true. Although the last 100 episodes, I think
True, true.
tight, but also like, okay, what are we doing? But I
Yeah,
agree
I
with
feel
you.
that.
I agree
I
with you
like
though.
the OG Naruto's good though. Like, you
Yeah,
can't. Yo,
I
what's your thoughts on Brotherhood versus OG FMA?
ooh, I like that. The way, like, I think the ideal way that I would tell someone to watch it is like see all of OG Full Metal and then see all Brotherhood. But if you want like a more curated side of it, I say watch the first 30 episodes of OG and then like watch all Brotherhood, but you have like a better like understanding of
Hmm.
like because I feel like the first like 15, 18 episodes they do of Brotherhood are sort of weak in a way, like not really like the strongest, but then once you get
Yeah.
past that part, nonstop amazingness the whole time.
The
Love it. Like
whole
that's my
time.
first
Yeah.
tattoo I got, like this, like a little homunculus sign right here, and
Yo.
I adore it. Like Brotherhood, number 3 anime of all time for me. Like it's One Piece, Gurren Lagann, Brotherhood. And
Dude, Gurren too? Oh,
yes,
let's
sir.
go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I fight the power. Like honestly, like I saw myself as Simone. So Simone, like, very shy kid, but like all the people around him, like really helping mold him to become a stronger person. So, like Simone's like definitely like one of my favorites. Kamina for sure, but
I was about to say, dude, Kamino was like probably the first character. Dude, actually, Gurren Lagann, I think, was like my. I always watched anime, but
yes.
Gurren Lagann was the first anime I watched episode 1 to the end. Like,
Oh
the
wow.
first
The whole
full
way through.
series I watched. Yeah, because I feel
Wow.
like Naruto was
Yeah,
still
too
coming
long.
out, Bleach
Yeah.
was still coming out, One Piece
Yeah.
was still coming out. And then, like, I just sat down and watched an anime in its entirety, and that was the first one. But I was like, dude, Kamina is my guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
just like
Man,
making something out of nothing, being crazy all the time. I love that,
I
dude.
adore it honestly. Like, and like that whole spirit, like honestly, anime has taken me so far. Like it has really inspired like how I see. Like I think about that a lot. Trying to make something out of nothing, do the impossible.
Love
Like
it.
just break through like what we think the rules are, and make it happen. And I do that actively. At least I try to have that actively. Like where it's like there are no any rules. Like all this stuff that we think are rules, they started
Yeah.
up like 50 years ago, 100 years ago, maybe, right? Like society changes like really quick all the time, and it's going to be up to people like who are willing to try to break past like the service level that like will take us further.
Absolutely. But anyways, yeah, okay, back to
Yeah,
FMA though. So
FMA,
wait,
yes.
Brotherhood's top 3 you said,
Yes,
or the
yeah, I would
original?
say
Okay,
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood
Like
top 3.
OG is dope, but like the way it ended for me, I'm just like, just might as well watch Brotherhood the way like it ended, like like at least the way that the author like wanted it to
The
end. Like
manga did it. Yeah,
yeah, like
yeah.
she did an amazing job with like the whole show, but like I think like original like just sort of goes like so weird in the ending for me personally, but like I loved it, but like it was just like, wait, what's going on? Even with the movie, um
It was weird.
it was weird. So like I would say, but if you can only choose one, then I would say Brotherhood, like all the
Brotherhood,
way
yeah,
Brotherhood.
yeah.
Yeah, how about you?
I feel like the only way I can tell people is like it's an absolute recommend. Like if you are recommending an anime to someone who's like just kind of on the fence, you got to go with FMA at some
Yes,
point.
yes.
But the way I say it is if you watch Brotherhood first, you will not be able to watch the original.
Yeah, ooh, great points. Yeah, honestly, like I would
I'm
say
like,
like don't do
yeah.
that to yourself if possible. Like if you can go watch the original. Well, unfortunately, it's really hard to find the original. Where even is the original?
I don't know. I have it on DVD.
I see, you did
I
it
just
right.
hand them the DVDs. I'm like, watch these and give them to me when they're done.
I love that.
But if you watch the original, I feel like let's just say I'm always like watch the original
Yes.
and then take like a year break, watch Brotherhood because you'll already have
Woo!
character building into Brotherhood.
Yes.
And you'll already appreciate the characters so much more.
I love that. Like I think that's the best way to do it. And also I think everyone should watch Full Metal. Like it's like just the whole franchise or any part of the franchise is very important, I think, as an anime watcher. Like I wouldn't tell someone to go watch Dragon Ball Z today. Like I think like it's sort of hard as an adult to be like, go watch,
Yeah.
Even Kai, I wouldn't tell you to go watch it. Like I think it's something you had to grow up with, or if you have time, but I was like, because I think there's better like action anime that like have taken the formula further,
Yeah.
or even different Akira Toriyama series that I would want you to get into. Like maybe I would want you to watch Dragon Ball for sure. Sandland is cool. Doctor Slump, even if you like want like a good comedy. But like Dragon Ball Z, it's sort of hard to be like. I mean, even though it's super important, it's something that like I'm like, it's a little bit too old. It's slow. It's not,
Yeah.
the pacing might take you out of it, especially if you haven't seen any anime beforehand. But Full
Yeah.
Metal, I think, is like perfect. Great
Yeah.
number of episodes, 64 episodes. If you do Brotherhood,
54, I think, in the
yeah,
original.
oh, perfect number, right? Like a lot,
Easy.
not too much. The topics, hard, like, but
Oh,
like,
so hard.
I think people that we need to talk about this. It's like it's so
Yeah.
it's so. I mean, we're sort of going through that shit right now. Hopefully, we're not getting
Dude.
sacrificed or prepared to get sacrificed like that. But it's like I think it's important to see the sort of xenophobia and the see like the sort of sci-fi way that people have modified their bodies in a way. Way the government is doing things, and climbing that rank. Like, what does it mean to you?
Dude, ahead of its time. That's
Way
for
ahead of its
sure.
time. Still timeless. Something that's, I think, super important for people to watch today. It even sort of bums me out when people say like they can't watch Gurren Lagann right now, like where like it just some reason doesn't jive with them.
Uh,
I don't know. I've heard that quite a few times. Or even like the scene when Kamina happens and then they stop. I'm just like, no, please keep going. Please don't stop right now. But
I was bummed. I
that's
almost
fair.
put it down too, but I was like, yo, I gotta know what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that scene shook me. That scene was so wild. I can't believe they did that, but I am glad they did that. Like it for me, that's what showed me like anime can hurt. Anime can
Yeah.
like make me cry. Like anime, like movies, like anime is my favorite medium. I would have to say. Like even though video games is my first love, I love books. I love
Yeah.
movies, TV shows, all that. But anime, like I think, is like still my favorite medium because like it has taken me further than like any other piece of fiction, I think, or even like reality. I always have to say sometimes.
Absolutely. I do 100%, dude. 100%. So yeah, okay, you got FMA. What other ones would you just full on recommend like a newbie?
Ooh, great question.
Like,
I was
let's just
actually
go maybe two additional ones, top
okay.
three.
Two additional ones. All right. So like, if you like have like an art house person, um, one that like I am starting to push back again. Kids on the Slope.
Hmm.
It's like sort of romance. It's about like in the '60s. 12 episodes. A pianist, like classical pianist, like meets like a sort of delinquent drummer, and like they form like a
Oh,
band, and the music's amazing. Um, it looks dope. Like they have like rotoscoping in it. It ends like pretty well. It's like
yeah.
a good one to show you like anime isn't just like action da 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 da. Like that was like one of the first ones that like was like the music's amazing. The like the storyline doesn't have to be action focused all the time. And then I would say I would try to put someone on some comedy, honestly. Like I think comedy is like so slept on as like in the anime world, even though like it's one of like the like Japan loves it, America doesn't.
Dude. Yeah, that's true. There's some epic ones out there, dude. Like comedy wise, I feel like my mind just goes straight to Golden Boy, to be honest.
Straight up, like all the
Dude.
I would have to see like okay, how much lewdness can you handle? Like if you can't handle it,
Yo.
no. The first one that came to mind, funny enough, was Prison School for me actually. That one it cracks me up, but definitely that one's more advanced. But if you want like a good like intro comedy, I would say I say Sureduri Children, honestly. Like it's
I haven't
like
seen it.
yeah, like it's like I got to like I was lucky I got to see like a lot of these like 2010s anime like when I was in Funimation. And that one is like
Yeah.
shorts, like whereas like each episode like it was like 8 different couples like in high school. Like as like there's like starting to get together, but it was like very cute but also very funny. And I thought it was like a good intro to like it would like tiptoe and like a little lewd, but like is like okay, we're not like crazy. A little lewd, but
Yeah.
not crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Not like overdoing it with the fan service, but being
Yeah,
funny with it.
exactly.
Yeah,
And then
gotcha.
also like another one like in that sort of same world is Hinamatsuri. Like
Hinamatsuri.
yeah, Hinamatsuri. Like
I feel like I've seen a couple episodes of that.
it's very funny to me, like very absurd, but then it gets very wholesome towards the end. Like like it just like humanized like homeless people like really well and like mafia people. Like I'm just like,
Oh.
all right, didn't know I was gonna be like in this world of feeling. I thought we were just gonna be laughing, but I thought that was like a good one. Also 12 episodes, so
Can't go
yeah,
wrong there.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
that's easy.
So those are mine. How about you? What would you say?
Dude, I feel like nowadays Death Note and AOT are just like some
Ooh,
of the best
Y-
breakthroughs for
yeah,
people.
straight up, honestly. Like I don't know how like I didn't think about those. For
I
me, I'm
think
like, oh, I gotta be hardcore. I got, like
yeah,
like every time
underground,
I'm
yeah.
like, what's a non-mainstream answer? But I think mainstream deserves the respect it does. Like, and AOT, it always wild is always wild to me when people are like AOT is not good, or at least when people try to say that. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Like,
I
why
would
are
have
you
to say that's
trying
number
to be
5 for
different,
me.
dude? I mean, it will probably go down as one of the greatest stories ever told. Like, it's Hajime Isayama really put together a story that can never be mimicked, and like, dude, it's so good. It's so good.
So
Even if you
good.
don't like the style or the story or the pacing, whatever, like you have to just tip your hat to the creativity that went into
I
it.
feel that. And like at least I want people that like even if it's not your bag, have that respect for it. Show
Have to.
like it did what it did for the culture. I feel also AOT was a huge that was a huge inflection point, a huge moment for like the anime scene. It showed everyone like, oh, anime can get like it was like the new wave of anime can be like gory and like action oriented and people can
Yeah.
die and consequences matter. And I remember like that season 1 like just hooking everyone from the
Episode
opening.
one.
Yeah, episode 1.
Straight
Dun,
up.
dun, 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 dun. And just there's a video that's going on now. Hopefully I can show it, but like there's like the dad like who's watching the episode of like he's just like hooked. He's watching Aaron like get eaten by the Titan for the first time, and like
Yo.
Armin, we're gonna see the world, and he's just hooked. Like just seeing that scene. I think he just walked in and just saw that scene. And that's what the whole Attack on Titan did for me, especially with season 3 onwards. Oh, everything,
The best.
everything,
The best.
everything
I've
until
heard
the
I've heard
ending.
of people like I've heard of people just been like, yeah, dude. I mean, I like all these live action series, and then they'll be like, the only anime I've watched is Attack on Titan, and it's like, yo, that's kind of dope.
That's dope, honestly. Like I'll take
Like,
that.
I'll
Like
give you, I'll take that.
I want people to get like try anime more overall. Like I
I
think
agree.
rather than feeling like oh it's a medium for kids, animation. I really want people to get out of the mindset of animation is for kids. Not at all. It's so good.
Not
It's
even.
so good, and it's such a bummer when people are like prohibiting themselves from getting into something fun because they think that like it looks away or like they think it's gonna be weird. And I'm like, just let it be weird. Life is
Yeah.
weird. Life is bizarre, and like we have so many stories to tell. And anime can do things that like live action can't in so many ways. Enjoy it.
Dude.
I
I
think
feel
that's
like
why like I
I feel like
think
it's
like a
that way for a lot
highfalutin.
of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I
And
had
yeah, I
that
think Attack on
mindset for the
Titan is like the
longest
perfect
time.
one. Yeah, honestly, like that. Like I
Yeah.
think that's like the best answer right there. Like if like unless you don't like action or like you don't like violence, then
True.
that's the only reason I would say don't watch it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I feel like, dude, I felt the same way with Death Note for a long time. Like that was my Full Metal Alchemist and Death Note were kind of my go-to for like new people
Yep.
before Attack on Titan finished because I
Yep.
feel like Death Note is just another like in stupid creative mind-bending anime.
Straight up. Like my brother, like I said, jock type of guy. That's the only anime that like I saw him get like hooked
Yo,
on. Yeah. So I think everyone can find some joy with that. The fact that Netflix is trying to do it again as a live action.
come on, guys, just dude, that's a whole nother discussion in itself. Is like, dude,
These
we
live
can,
actions. Like although
can,
I actually will give
uh,
them grace. Like if especially after this One Piece one, but like even before that with Cowboy Bebop, my favorite live action is Rurouni Kenshin.
dude, not it wasn't bad. Okay, here's my question for the live action thing
Yes.
then. Would you rather a live action come out, or would you rather them take that budget and just have them put out an animated movie?
I mean, of course, the latter.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's
the latter. I, I,
yo,
I 100% agree with you with that.
like,
But
dude, just give us another one shot of Death Note or a one shot of Rurouni Kenshin with updated anime, updated graphics. Like, it would hit if you put
I,
in like the $1 million budget.
yeah, oh, that's what honestly it
Yo,
needs, especially now. It's like, because I agree. It's like I remember seeing the Avatar live action, and I was just like, honestly, I'd rather just go watch a cartoon. The only live action that like I feel like has been worth it is One Piece. And even then, I'm
yeah,
like, go watch One Piece.
that's exactly how I'm like. It was good.
Yes.
It's all reference. Like, it's a lot of it's reference one to one, and the stuff that's not one to one, like Oda's not even happy about. But so it's like, dude,
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's something like I am thinking. Like I do appreciate like because also like I at least I'm trying to be like, oh, like hopefully this helps people get into the house. It's like this is like the room that you build in the franchise house, I guess, that gets people into like, oh, come in, join us with all this. It does bum me out when people are like, oh, I'm just gonna stick with live action. I'm like, what is wrong with you? See,
no, it's
see,
not even close.
yeah. Like I feel like this should be like the advertisement for the actual content, that the creators made.
Yeah.
Um
Well, one thing my wife hated when she started anime was like the expressions. She couldn't
yeah.
get over like the how anime characters have to express themselves.
Yeah, like
Like,
faces and all that, I
she,
guess.
yeah, like the faces, or you know how like Alphonse would always just get like the simple outline with like the two horns
Yeah,
and
although you
like
didn't like
with the
that part.
stupid face.
Yeah,
She just didn't like the expressions. But now she's like, yo, she loves them.
yeah.
I think that's a hard barrier to entry, and maybe that's why live action has to happen. But it's like, dude, like,
I
just give me
I
an
do want people
animated
to
movie.
just jump in with us, like it's
Yeah,
like just join us
keep
in
an
this
open
world.
mind.
Yeah, like you don't
Yeah.
need to baby. At least I would hope you don't need to be babied into it. Just trust us that there's like actual like a reason that we're all like in this world, right? Right?
Like, just take a just do
Yeah,
it.
I
Don't judge
100%.
it till you try it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that's it. Like it's like don't be just just have an open mind about it. Like it's fine to have like your barriers, but like also I just think about like anime opening up for the global world. Like whereas like it showed me like oh there's other countries outside of America, right? There's like a whole nother world out here, and especially like now these days, like seeing like Chinese and Korean and French and just like more people and groups getting into this animation world because of anime more than cartoons. Um, I love it. I think like it's people just need to jump into it, try it. If you need help, I got you. Like
Same, yo. I
I
got some. We got 3 recommendations straight up in this video
bam
already.
bam boom. Like if you want something highfalutin, I got you. You need something, like honestly, like Death Note and Attack on Titan goats for a reason. And I think also I want people like in the anime world to be like mainstream is okay, y'all. Mainstream is
Yeah,
good for a reason. Like or like not good
yeah.
for or like usually is good. I think a lot of mainstream recommendations are good. I don't think there's like you're failing if you go for a mainstream thing.
No, no, absolutely not. And like, dude, honestly, my favorite thing recently is like One Piece has officially topped the charts as the number one like TV show of all time.
I love
Like
it.
that beat out like all TV shows of all time. That beat out like The Simpsons. It beat out, you know, everything. And I'm like, yo, let's go, dude. That
I,
that should just show itself. Like, yo, you guys are missing out on the number one show of all time.
of all time, like every year, like it just is topping the charts for a reason. Like it's like it's not just me. It's not we're all just in a crazy cult. It's like look, y'all.
Yo,
It's like we like this shit for a reason. It's like it's actually like a fun time. Like and
yeah.
it's it like I get it. Like I understand the resistance, especially like how many episodes is it? What is it? This looks weird. I don't know. I get it. I was resistant too for a long time, but there's a reason that the world is so into it, and I would love it if people would just give it that chance. Don't feel like you have to like get everything, or be caught up immediately. I love it. Actually,
Yeah.
I always love your videos, like how far are you into One Piece? And you ask the cosplayers. and like see the diversity of it all. Like it does crack me up seeing someone who's cosplaying One Piece and doesn't know anything about it.
I love it.
But I'm like, hey, if this what gets you into it, and if this, like, or like however far you are, it's like I'm glad you're with us on it. It's like at least you didn't give up. You're trying it. You're seeing what we're seeing, right?
Yeah. Dude, I had one girl, she was cracked me up because she had this awesome Big Mom cosplay.
Yeah.
And I asked her, she's like, not at all. I haven't seen one episode. I just am in a friend group and they just made me be a character. And I was like, that was so real. Like, just be
Yeah.
real. And it's like people in the comments were like, dude, that Big Mom, awesome cosplay, but also like kudos for being just so real with everyone.
Like that's something like I want people to, feel. I mean, don't feel like wrong. Watch it. Now you
Just
cosplayed
watch it, dude.
You got to get on it. But I do want there to be less gatekeeping overall. I've even had a few friends who are like, can I watch dubs? I'm like, please. Dubs are dope. Dubs are dope. In fact, like it makes me a little sad that the stereotype of dubs being bad is still a stereotype. When it hasn't been true for more than 20 years.
It's crazy, dude. It's like, dude, some dubs are better than subs, and
I'm with you 100%. Even the
straight
4Kids
up.
dubs, I love and adore. Digimon, One Piece, well, that's a wild dub for sure, but same time it has its merits.
It does, and I feel like like people in the 4Kids dub like literally walked so that the new voice actors had something to base off of. Like, it's not like the new Luffy sounds much different than the old Luffy.
Yep.
She based her voice off of what Erica did in the 4Kids dub.
That's crazy, and like I actually I would really love to give like more props to 4Kids. It's like we love to like dump on it these days, but if not for 4Kids, we wouldn't have had anime in America. At least I wouldn't have got exposed when I did. It didn't feel like it was like the perfect transition, I think, between like cartoons and anime. Like it was like, oh, like this is different, but it's not so different that like I feel, like especially like in the 90s, right? Like 90s, early 2000s, like when at least I had no awareness of like Asian cultures really like that,
Yeah, well, it was kind of different too because we had like Pokemon, we had Beyblade, we
Yep.
had Yu-Gi-Oh, we had Digimon, and I feel like those were on the same times as everything else. And then it's like really the light switch for me was when I was sneaking on to watch Adult Swim,
Yeah,
and
Adult
it's
Swim
like
for real.
I watched like someone get murdered. I was like, yo, what? Like people get killed in cartoons? This is insane. And then like huge kudos to Shonen Jump. Like, dude, who knows where we would be without Shonen Jump either? It's like the manga world getting opened up was huge.
I'm grateful like all these things also happen simultaneously.
Yeah.
Like it just worked out like where like a lot of this nerd culture like hit at the right time. Like I see like older people like that maybe like seen it but like didn't like get into it. And that bumps me out. Like whereas like no, come back, but they're like they aged out of it in a way. But but like I'm happy. Like then again, things are changing. Things are definitely changing. I'm happy that like nerd culture is like finally getting the props it deserves. I'm happy this industry is a thing. Like it's definitely giving more joy to the world, especially like just with how bleak things are everywhere. And like this has been like that last bastion nerd culture overall, like of like maybe things aren't so horrible. Maybe I can, and also like I even think like who are my heroes? It's like who, like are there physical people that like I look up to, and definitely now for sure, but like there are, but like I think more about like animated fictional characters inspiring me than like actual like, oh, this president did this or this sports person did this. I guess I don't know.
Dude, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that, like at all. Like never. There's never. I don't know, dude. Wherever you gotta bring your inspiration from, just take that and use that. If it makes you a better person, like screw it, dude. It's good. It's better for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, dude, thank you so much. Like this has been like a talk that I think will keep me going. It's like I needed some of this. So it's like I love the positivity you bring into this world. I'm excited to see more things that you got going on. And I'm excited to see what's next for you. I guess last question: do you have a favorite collectible that you have that you gotten over the year?
Oh my goodness! Let me just take a look. Let me take a look around the room really quick. Favorite, dude. I have so many collectibles. I feel like every single thing kind of has its own story, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I have a favorite. I just have a lot of stuff. I have a lot of junk,
I
man.
feel you with
Did
that.
you see my video on these the statues from Kumamoto?
Yes. Oh man, yes. I was like, I need to go on that whole tour. I didn't know it was different places in Kumamoto. I thought it'd be like one place, or
Yeah.
and also I didn't know you can only get like you said one at a time, right?
Well, so you just couldn't roll up to a store and buy all 10. So
Got
like these were sold next at shops nearest to the statue. So these
okay.
statues are spread out across the entire prefecture. So if you go to Luffy, there's like probably, I don't know, maybe like a 7-Eleven near the Luffy statue that only sells the Luffys.
I like
Yeah,
that
I just
though.
bought them all on eBay.
Hey, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, like I like
These
those
are probably
statues
my
a lot.
favorite right now, though. Yeah, these are probably my favorite. And the backstory is cool too. Like Oda, just like, it turns out Oda's the goat for multiple different reasons.
Yeah, yeah. You said like, yeah. I think I learned from you actually. Like he did this, like he commissioned these like after like a typhoon that happened or something like that, right?
No, they were a gift. So he's from Kumamoto
Mm-hmm.
Prefecture, and in 2016 there were two huge earthquakes back to back, like
Mm.
very devastating. And he ended up starting, I think, what's called the Straw Hat Relief Fund or Disaster Relief Fund, where Luffy donated like 600 million yen to Kumamoto. And obviously, like Oda just said, like this is from Luffy. This is a gift from Luffy. And Kumamoto, they basically just said, "Hey, we're gonna thank you for doing that. We're gonna put up these bronze statues around, and and it created a tourist attraction as well." So,
I
like,
love
dude,
that.
Oda's the goat, man. Just the
Absolute goat.
absolute, yeah.
I just hope one day I can meet him. Maybe once all this is done, and just be like, "Thank you, sir." I cried for a month when you finished the show.
Dude,
I
I
feel like
feel
I'm
like
gonna
in
cry.
your job you could meet him. I feel
I,
like I'm gonna cry as well.
it's just gonna be like how long I cry, and like I really hope that like I feel like the landing is gonna be stuck really well. I think this is gonna be like one of the best pieces of media once it finishes one of these days. But I'm enjoying this ride, and I'm excited for much more to come. I'm happy that One Piece is finally like getting the props it deserves, and uh, to hear that story just makes me even happier.
Yo, so that's probably my favorite right now, man. And yeah, dude, One Piece, I feel, yeah, it's the best show ever made, the best story ever told. Oda, just stay alive,
My
dude.
man,
Do not,
exactly,
do
exactly.
not,
Please, everything possible. Take your vitamins, get your stretch, all that. Don't
sleep,
don't get hurt.
stretch.
Yes,
Yeah, make sure arthritis doesn't creep in too
right. Don't
heavily.
need a Togashi situation, or yeah, like even worse potentially. So,
Yeah,
absolutely. I just want
so
this to end like the way that it deserves to.
yeah, and you know what, dude? I want everybody there at the end with us. Like that is going to be the biggest thing. It's like, bro, I know you're not caught up, but I want you there
It's
at the
worth
end of
it. Like I'm
when the
telling
One
people,
Piece is revealed.
now is the time to get into it because if you don't, you're not. You're gonna feel so bad when it finishes and the world is having the moment. Like when Dragon Ball Super was going on, and like the last few episodes, I thought like that was one of the best moments of the world celebrating these finale episodes. And I can
Crazy.
only imagine how it's going to be for One Piece, like when it happens, especially now that like it's so popping. Like like 10 years ago, and if it ended, it would have been a huge celebration still. But today, you're missing. You're only hurting yourself if you don't catch up.
Dude, and I feel like it's actually going to end sooner than we expect.
I agree. Oh, oh.
I don't think it's going to be 5 years. I don't think it's going to be 3 years. I feel like, dude, I mean, Egghead was quick, bro.
Like I was like, was it? But also, I guess you're
Quick,
right.
dude.
Like it
It
felt
was
like
like,
you're right actually. Like also, but like so much happened during Egghead too.
that's what I feel like. I feel like Egghead could have been, like, if this was a Dressrosa situation, it
Yeah.
could have been, wait, how long was it? It wasn't, was it a year long? Was it less than a year long?
Oh wow.
Did the
Holy
Egghead
moly.
manga start this year?
I think last year. Let me like I'm looking this up right now, but yeah, I guess you're right actually. Like it started. Yeah, the manga started 2022. Yeah, anime started last year. So
Okay.
it was chapter
2020,
10.
so it's been around for like 2 years.
Yeah. So but then again, compared to Wano, compared to Dressrosa, compared to like
True,
every
true.
other arc, yeah, like this has been very relatively short, and it just ended now. So
Yeah, but we're also getting the point that's scary in One Piece is that Oda it can get away from the Straw Hats for such a long time. Like he can put the Straw Hats over here and then for 5 months talk about everything else that's happening in the world. So I feel like he's able to like make the story go a lot quicker.
yes. Yes, I guess yeah. Right now,
Like,
like a lot of things have to be off screen because also I feel like
it's not
he's
about the straw hats
yes,
anymore.
which is dope. I love that. Like it's
Same.
the fact that like he can juggle like hundreds of characters and we care. Brilliant, brilliant.
Who else? Who else?
No, I've seen many other people try. You know, I feel like My Hero sort of suffered from like too big of a cast. Um,
I can't even name 50 characters in My Hero. I could probably name 100 One Piece characters.
you know, straight up. I actually, ooh, that'd be a cool challenge. Actually, I would like to see
You know,
like,
dude, I'll do
yeah, ooh,
that.
I'd
Yo,
love
it
to
could be interview style. I'll just say like, just name One Piece characters until one person can.
ooh, that'd be a cool game, actually, right there.
All right, New York Comic Con, I got you. You and one other. Who's your optimal opponent? Who's your One Piece counterpart?
Who do I want to try this against? I was gonna say like, do I want to try against Juju or somebody like that? You know, although like he's up there. I'm like, do I want to put myself out there like that? Like because also I've learned that there's a lot of smart One Piece people out there, like the One Piece podcast guys. They every time I feel a little dumb being on their stuff. 'Cause I'm like, oh, I didn't remember that. Oh, the Birkins. Oh, this situation. Oh, whoop, slap, whoo.
Freaking
Ow.
whoop slap.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's so many things that like, even though I thought I knew a lot, there's so much that like I have to learn, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much like going through it. Like actually, I'm even proud of myself for remembering what I know from just like the one watch through.
For real. How do we even? I feel like Oda's helping us a lot.
Yeah.
Because he references a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, how do I even know these references?
Straight up, yeah. Like and like I don't even do like the theory videos. Like I low key just don't. I just want to get surprised by it. I don't want to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I knew that was gonna happen. You know?
I feel that, dude. No, One Piece goated. Best show ever.
You understand
Watch
me.
One Piece, everybody. You have to.
That's the motto of the story, bro. Thank you so much. Like it was absolute
thank
joy
you.
to have you on. I definitely got to bring you back on, and I'm excited to kick it at New York Comic Con. That's gonna be a good time. Run it back. I need to train and smash now, so that way I don't get stopped. And then I got to see if I can keep up with everybody else. Honestly,
dude, thank you so much, man. It's crazy the conversation you can have that's not like a music blaring, club.
I've been saying, I was like, we need to hang out outside of a con, honestly. But at the same time, I'm happy for the con parties and the con and all that. And I know we're all busy, but it does mean a lot when we do get to hang out whenever, like, at these events.
Absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much. Keep doing you, and I'm stoked to see you.
My man, I appreciate you. Peace, bro.
Hey, later, bro.